This is John from Dan Best Fuel Systems. I'm really excited to bring you a video on our wet bench fuel systems today. We're going to show all the different features, and hopefully you'll become more familiar with the complete assembly. In the opening pictures on the right hand side is the controls and switches for the bench. You'll find the 120 volt control switches on the right of the panel. On the left will be the 12 volt controls. In the center will be the RPMs for the blower. This is the control panel itself. Right hand side is 120 volts. On the left side is the 12 volts. In the center is the RPMs and re-establishing the blower controls. We have the vertical manometers, which is the real, like the dead weighting of dyno. The smallest ones are for use for the idle and transfer slot. The larger ones are, once again, I use them for the occasions that the computer may not be functioning correctly, and to verify that does happen, and to re-dead weight or reset the transducers if there's ever transducer problem. You'll see the computer screens that'll give you the readouts for the air flow. In the fuel flow, you'll see one that's actually in progress here. The airflow was 167 CFM. The fuel flow was 70 pounds per hour. It's on the screen. It will actually give you the air-fuel ratio. This is calculated air-fuel ratio. Where at that point it wasn't on the screen. This is the air fan turbines. You'll get ones for the 4150 and the 4500. There's different assemblies we have to offer. And then the air fan is actually in the aluminum part at the top. We'll show you that in a couple of minutes. Here's the 4150 on the right, and the 4500's on the left. And these are, in order to get your air fuel readings measured going in. This is the complete assembly sitting on a 4150 main body. Trying to give you proportions so you can see it. We do have it where it's two pieces now, using the 4500 top, which is here on a 4500 carburetor. Then there's an adapter that goes to the 4500 top down to the 4150. We actually like that, but we give people the choice on which ones they want to use. Here's an adapter sitting on my bench to do complete induction systems. It's glass, so you can see how it comes out. So if somebody wants the wet flow manifolds and complete induction systems, we actually have that adapter and sitting on top of my bench that we do for doing complete systems. We've actually used it on EFI for Pro Stock. This is a Pro Stock assembly. Here's a picture of the complete bench with everything sitting on it. We keep the protective plastic on the bench until it's shipped to the customer and they can remove it later. On top is actually aluminum. The side is, in this case, is a shiny gloss black. We have people that want matted black. There's different colors that we can offer. And then the drawers on the right hand side is to keep the top of the bench from getting too crowded. My bench doesn't have drawers, so you'll notice it gets really busy with tools sitting on top. Sometimes I don't do the wet bench videos because everybody's got something to say about how busy it is. I'm very busy, and my bench doesn't have drawers, so we made it a part of the wet benches that we sell is to have places to put tools, jetting and things to keep the top of the bench much more neat and attractive. Here we are getting into the CNC blower impellers to show what they look like. There's left and right, so when they're bolted together they make a complete assembly. Here's the actually the rear, and this would be the forward part where the air goes in, and then it's centrifugal force that throws the air out. So in the blower, it's centrifugal blower. This is the two together. One on the left would actually be the rear. The one on the right would be the forward. And you'll see my patents across the top. Always that would be in the room where we had the patent sitting on top. This is the complete blower assembly for the rear. Let's see here. So, and this is the complete blower assembly from the front, where actually you can either have it bolted directly to the bench, or we usually keep the blower behind a wall in ours, and customers usually do the same, and then you'll use a 8-inch PVC. Here's the beginnings of the fuel systems that replicate what's in the car. So when you turn the fuel pumps on, this is what actually goes on. We use the EFI pump, and then pressure regulator on, keep it whatever pounds you would like to have it set. And then you fill the fuel tank. It's actually a return pump there's a return pump that comes from the plenum underneath the carburetor that you can refill the tanks with. Once again, this is the vertical manometers. I wanted to have that part of the fuel system. So you'll have a low, one on the right for doing the idle and transfer slot, and the two on the left will be when you're doing the wide open throttle on your carburetor. Sometimes the carburetor is small, you only need one, or if it's a larger carburetor, a lot of flow, we have two going, and we have a sheet that we write down the settings for each of these. It's really good. It's in case something ever happens to the transducer, or if the computer's down, you can keep work going. The center part here is where the wet bench adapters go. Left hand side is the drain, so as you're doing jetting, or if you want to let the carburetor sit after you're done so it drips out and so your ship's dry, the return drain area goes directly to the back of the fuel system tank. Here once again we have the control on the right, the vertical manometers in the center, you have the wet flow area, vacuum area. Plenum is where the carburetor is mounted, and the far left is where the drain that returns everything back. And here is the shipping just before it goes out to the customer. It's in the parking lot, and you'll see the shipping blower on the left, cabinet. And if you need to reach out to us, it's danbestcarburetor.com, info1@danbest.com. Phone number is 845-546-2646. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.